process didn't fail the 76ers. The 76ers front office failed the process.
Kick the red, double move on the red.
Yo, everybody doing? K-Ding back here. So my first initial reactions to all this crazy Sixers stuff going on is that the process didn't fail the Sixers. The Sixers front office failed the process. That is my first instinctive response to when I heard that the Sixers signed and traded Jimmy Butler, because it absolutely was not what I wanted. I wanted Jimmy Butler back. And the hang-up that we heard all day was that the Sixers didn't want to give him a fifth-year option. Well, guess what? He signed with the Miami Heat for 4 years, $140-something million. He didn't even get the fifth-year option. So why didn't we sign him? I don't know. It couldn't have been the fifth-year option. So maybe Jimmy Butler didn't want to come to the Sixers. Maybe he didn't want to play for the Sixers long-term. Maybe he just wanted to go to the Heat. If that's the case, then so be it. I don't feel the same way that I, said at the beginning of the intro, if that's the case. If the Sixers didn't want him, I don't understand why. I don't understand why. But there is a lot going on here. There is a lot going on. And every time I did a video on something breaking, something new came up, and I had to pull it down, so I'm going to try to put everything in this one video. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have a lot of mixed feelings right now about what's going on, because my first initial response is I don't want to lose Jimmy Butler. I don't want to lose him. I know how important he is. Look at everything he did in the playoffs for us, man. He was the guy that really carried us a lot of times, especially when JoJo was hurt and sick. Jimmy Butler always rose to the occasion. I didn't want to lose it. But the reason we were going to lose him, they said, was because of the fifth-year option. Well, he didn't get a fifth-year option in Miami, so maybe he didn't want to play for us. If he don't want to play for us, then see you later, buddy. That's how I feel. But I don't know what the hell's going on. But let's start from the beginning of some things that have happened today. Oh, my gosh. All right. J.J. Redick, he is gone. He signs with the Pelicans. This is not a surprise to me. Because why? Because I expected Redick to kind of go anyways. Even though it sounded like he wanted to come back, I had that feeling he was going to go. So Redick is gone to the Pelicans. Then we find out that the Sixers signed Mike Scott back to a 2-year deal. Great. I like Mike Scott. Great move. Then we find out that the Sixers were meeting with Tobias Harris. They wind up signing him to a 5-year, $180 million deal. One more and 40+ million more than Jimmy Butler got. Okay. So, I like Tobias Harris. I obviously feel like if you're going to lose Jimmy Butler, you had to resign Tobias Harris. You couldn't lose both guys. You had to keep one. Okay. Preferably, I wanted Jimmy Butler. But that's not what happened. So the Sixers, they signed Tobias Harris. I have no problem with it. I like Tobias Harris. I do think they overpaid for him, though. But you can't lose Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. So after the Tobias Harris signing, I'm going ahead and I'm getting my video ready. I'm preparing it. And I'm thinking nothing's going to happen with Jimmy Butler today because he wants to meet with the Rockets still. He might even meet with the Sixers still. So it's going to take a while. I'm going to go and put out what I have now on the Sixers. Well, guess what? Then it comes out, then it breaks, that the Sixers sign and trade Jimmy Butler to the Miami Heat. Now, here's the thing. There was all this talk about the Sixers not wanting to give Jimmy Butler a fifth-year option, and he was demanding it. Well, what does he get? He gets a 4-year, $140 million plus contract from the Miami Heat. We couldn't give him that? Come on, man. We need Jimmy. 4 years? 5 years, okay, because they're 4 years? We couldn't give him 4 years? That's hard for me to believe. It's hard for me to understand, except for the fact that the Sixers don't want him. They don't want him, or he doesn't want to be there. Whatever it is, it wasn't going to work out anyways. So, whatever. You know what I mean? And in return, the Sixers get Josh Richardson. Now, I like Josh Richardson. I do. I like him. He is not Jimmy Butler, but I think he is a decent two-way player, and he'll be, a good player for the Sixers. So they get him. Now, I'm trying to process this going, oh my gosh, why did we lose Jimmy Butler? And believe me, I do not like losing Jimmy Butler. I prefer to have kept him. As long as he wanted to play for us. As long as he wanted to play for us, I wanted him. I don't know what the story is. I'm sure we'll find out later whether he wanted to be with us. Maybe we didn't want him for whatever reason. I thought Jimmy Butler was great. I thought he was a perfect fit. We went to Game 7, final seconds of the game, the final second. Leonard hits the game-winning shot, which was a lucky shot. It goes in, and they beat us. We were that close to beating the champions, the world champions, okay? We gave them their best shot. We were close. We are a close team to winning it all. So why do you want to mess with that nucleus? That's my issue. Why would you get rid of Jimmy Butler, who was the best guy in the playoffs for you? I don't get it. Especially when you didn't have to give him a 5-year deal. You only had to give him a 4. The only thing I can think is that the Sixers, or that Jimmy Butler didn't want to play for the Sixers. It has to be it. And if that's the case, then my initial comment on the intro is not true. It is not true. I don't feel that way. Because if he doesn't want to play for you, there's nothing you could do about that. You don't want somebody to play for you that doesn't want to be there, okay? So Butler goes. We get, like I said, Josh Richardson. I like him. I think he's a good guy to bring in. But then the Sixers go ahead, and this kind of confuses me a little bit. Now, I think he's a good player. But the Sixers sign Al Horford from the stinking mother-humping Celtics. I hate the Celtics. And it always takes me a while to adjust to a Boston Celtic player coming over. So you got to give me some grace period on it because he's a Celtic. And he's a good player. He's a decent player. Okay? By no means is he as impactful as Jimmy Butler, but he's a decent player. Okay? He's going to be a decent backup center when Embiid is out. He can play the 4, Al Horford, but he's 33 years old and you paid him $109 million for 4 years. 4 years, $109 million. I just, I just don't understand. I don't understand some of the things we're doing. I don't. I mean, if we're being honest, I don't know. If you're going to say, do we have a better team than we did last year? At this point, I have to say no. I think Jimmy Butler on the Sixers was better than Richardson and Horford adding onto the Sixers. I do. That's the big question to me. Okay, that's the question. Are the Sixers right now better than they were a year ago? Are they better than they were a year ago? Are they closer to a championship? You lose Butler, you lose Redick. Are they better with Josh Richardson, Horford? Are they better with what they have than what they were a year ago? I don't know. I got to tell you at this point, I don't think that they are. Now, they're not done yet. There are still things to be done, moves to be made. Now they're talking about getting an extension done with Ben Simmons. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Ben Simmons plays a huge factor into this whole thing. Ben Simmons is important. He has to develop a shot because I think that the moves that the Sixers have made today, I think the move that they have made is because that they basically are saying they believe in Ben Simmons. They believe he's going to become that guy because they just let Jimmy Butler walk out the door. I think Ben Simmons has to develop a shot. He has to become the player that we know he can be. And if he does, then you are looking at a team that's probably better than the team last year. But Ben Simmons has to develop. He has to get better. And this is going to be, in my opinion, the big key for the Sixers this year. Can Ben Simmons develop a jump shot and become that scorer that we need him to be? Because right now, I mean, look, Horford's a nice player, Richardson's a nice player, but I thought Jimmy Butler was a killer. He was a killer, especially in the fourth quarter. And we don't have that right now. And we lost some outside shooting that we have to get back. So that's going to be the big question. I am not totally happy with this move. I am not happy losing Jimmy Butler. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pissed off right now about it. It bothers me. But I know that this is an emotional initial reaction. Let's see how things settle out. Let's see how things play out. And like I said, if Butler didn't want to be here and didn't want to play for the Sixers, then I'm okay. Then you had to do what you had to do. But if there was any chance for us to keep him, I would have kept him. That's my thoughts on it. Those are my feelings. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? I don't know. Football can't start soon enough. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat.